Guys, it's been 6 weeks since my last ulnar nerve surgery. I wanted to give everybody an update. 6 weeks. I don't. Did I say 6 months? It's the end of the day. My brain is really fried. But anyway, here's the scar. Let me get closer to the light so maybe you can see better. Um, it's not really, any worse than my last one was. Um, just about the same thing. I probably wasn't as diligent about things I was supposed to do this time around. I just remembered like a couple weeks ago to start massaging the scar as I put lotion on. I basically did it like twice a day when I took a shower. And I think that helps kind of break down the scar tissue and soften it up because I noticed, my scar on this arm from about, a year and a half ago is super soft. I mean, there's nothing like hard or anything about it. And, this one, I can still feel some, yeah, it's got a little bit still in there. As far as mobility, it's pretty good. The only thing I'll say is when I fully straighten my arm, like if I really want to like, flex my tricep, so to speak, like this, my elbow is a little sore. And I don't think it has anything to do with like it's still sore from surgery or anything. It's basically sore because I haven't straightened it out like that and really flexed my tricep like that in 6 weeks. So it'll probably be sore for a little while when I start trying to do that. I kind of look at it as like, you know, the surgeon told me that my muscle fascia is pretty flimsy. So he did the fascial sling, just how they do with these procedures to secure the nerve in the new spot. But he basically said, like, take it easy. And even when you kind of come back, you don't know because your fascia isn't the strongest. So he tried to reinforce it, did what he could. But we'll see. And right now, when I work, this is the first time I've been able to sit at a computer and type normally in probably 5 years. So it just makes work so much easier. And stupid things like having to answer people's emails and putting together analytics or whatever in Excel. It's actually fun for me now because I'm not in pain while I do it. I know it sounds stupid, but it's actually fun for me to sit at my computer and do that. Um, so I don't want to screw anything up that would impact that negatively. So I want to be sure that I'm being careful, doing the right things, and not negatively affecting the healing process. So again, I haven't really pushed it or anything. The most activity I did, I will say, so I haven't done any upper body exercises or anything like that. I did do legs a couple times. I did it actually yesterday, and for the first time, I used plates. So like just on the leg press, I guess. But I did, I picked up the plates basically with my right arm, but, kind of with my left arm as well. But I did play hockey last weekend. I just went to the rink and skated around, shot around. Um, Nothing, no like actual gameplay where I'm getting hit or doing anything like that. Um, so that went fine. Felt fine. No pain or anything else. No negative effects afterwards. But again, I was still taking slap shots and stuff, but it's probably not as bad on my left arm because I'm right-handed. So I feel like my right arm probably does more of the work there. But anyway, it was good. It didn't really hurt it too much. I was kind of looking, next week is Thanksgiving. My wife's birthday falls on Thanksgiving, so I got a lot of stuff going on next week besides having like a ton of stuff at work to get done. Um, so I don't think I'm going to do any upper body next week either. I think I'll probably wait till after Thanksgiving to ease back into upper body exercise. And so that'll be almost 8 weeks. So that's pretty good. I waited 6 weeks last time and I wanted to kind of wait a little bit longer this time. It's been hard because right now I basically feel like I could just go to the gym and work out the same as I did before. And you guys will find that'll be the case. After you lay off it for 3 or 4 weeks, you kind of almost forget you had surgery. And especially when you're feeling as good as you'll feel, like right now, like I was saying, I can sit at a computer and type. So, like, my brain is like, you feel great. Everything's great. You don't have to worry about anything. But you have to constantly remind yourself that stuff like that's going on. So show live chat messages. So yeah, I don't know if anyone's watching this. I'm trying to tell it to show the chat messages if you want to ask me a question. But so that's basically the update on my surgery. It went well. I'm optimistic. Things are going good. But what I wanted to do now is go through some of these questions that I've got. I tried to do this on my desktop, but for some reason, because YouTube Live is easy. I can just do this and I don't have to worry about editing it and uploading and all that crap because I don't have time for that. But with this, I can just do this, and I wanted to do it and kind of work through these questions here, but I could do it on my desktop, so I'm holding my phone and looking at my computer. So we'll just do it that way. Anyway, I got this question a couple days ago. Really good question from Perito MD. I don't know if that means he's a doctor or not, but he says, "Hey Mark, I'm scheduled for a subcutaneous ulnar nerve transposition November 22nd. Basically, hello, hey. What are you doing? Sorry, my dog crazy. Hello, hey. What are you doing? Are you kidding me? You don't do any of this all day and all of a sudden you're going to start barking? My dog never barks, so that's kind of alarming. Hold on. Good grief. What are you barking at? You want me to turn the light on so you're not freaked out? Here. Okay. Happy now? This is very unprofessional, I'm sorry. But this is, after all, a YouTube channel, and this is what you get. So, it's free, right? Hey Mark, I am scheduled for a subcutaneous whole nerve transposition November 22nd. Basically, I know I need to get the nerve transposed, but I would like your opinion. My doctor believes the subcutaneous is a much better route for me because it's much faster recovery and higher success rates, he said, which is great. However, I'm a skinny guy. You know, I love weightlifting and staying fit, and he said the nerve will be superficial and more prone to damage compared to submuscular. However, the nerve now is superficial too, I believe. Basically, my question is, you have personal experience with subcutaneous. Do you find yourself damaging or hitting your nerve often? Basically, what I'm worried about is hitting it wrong and hitting it back to some kind of subluxation again and having the surgery be a complete waste. I'm sure you can relate in the worry, so thanks. All right, man. Best to you, recovery, and thank you. You do sound a lot like me. Anyway, I can really relate to this, of course. Yeah. So I'll tell you a couple things. So, your thought process is right on. The nerve is still subcutaneous, which it has been your whole life. When it sits between those two bony ridges, your elbow and the medial epicondyle, it's not under any muscle. It's just under the fat there. But those bones create sort of like a, crevice or canyon, if you will, kind of between those two there to kind of give it some protection. So I think it's a little bit more protected where it originates when you get it transposed. I don't find myself knocking into it all that often, but I can tell you that for some reason my puppy, when he's jumping around playing with me, grab my arm, he always manages to find my nerve. So, yeah, I feel it when he hits it. It tingles. It's not, you don't have to worry about knocking it back into where it shouldn't be. That's not going to happen. But what will happen, especially as your nerve is probably sensitive because you're having this procedure, if you hit it, you're going to feel it tingle, and you kind of don't want to hit it real hard because then you might cause yourself some problems. I also noticed that when I put my hockey elbow pads on the other day, like I didn't put on my equipment because I tried to put it on and I noticed I couldn't even put the elbow pads on either elbow because just the way the elbow fits in the pad, it irritated my nerve. Oh, my wife's home. My dog's gonna go crazy, so I'll just shut the door. Um, so yeah, it is more sensitive, but you have to look at it from a lifestyle perspective. If you were somebody that like played full contact hockey, uh, football, mixed martial arts, maybe you go snowboarding and you're like at it real hard, or you skateboard, you're falling a lot, something like that, then I would say, you know what, get a submuscular because it's going to be better protected. But I didn't do it because I'm not really doing any of those things. I'm not doing anything that involves me banging my arm into stuff on a frequent basis. So, in my opinion, I was kind of the same thought as your doctor. I was like, be realistic. I'm almost 40 years old. I'm not going to be doing anything crazy like that. I just want to be able to work a normal job and be able to exercise and do some things as hobbies. Not going to be a competitive athlete at 40 years old in the NHL or something. But if you're a young kid and you're like really into that stuff, then yeah, the submuscular is probably a better way to go. Again, it has to do with your lifestyle. So if you're not doing any, if you're just like you described, lifting weights and staying fit, don't worry about it. You're not gonna mess it up. You might bang it into something, but you'll also be a lot more careful about that because you just know it's there, and you'll be a lot more, you know, cautious, I guess. So good luck to you. I say go with the subcutaneous, but you got to do what's best for you. It's definitely a quicker recovery. There's no doubt about that. So let me know what happens. All right, so I got another one here. I'm just gonna go down these. Charlie Boo asks, "Man, I just watched like 4 of your videos. After feeling slight tingling in the pinky and fourth finger for about 8 weeks now, I don't have pain but slight discomfort in the shoulder area. Okay. If I turn my wrist a certain way, it cracks some or pops. Might be the nerve. Probably not your nerve. It's probably just your joints. This is what happens when you get weird pains or tingling. You start thinking every little thing is related. That's probably not just my guess. I'm not a doctor, so this is just from personal insight and experience. I'm going to go the conservative way now. Good choice. Anyways, thank you so much for your videos. You seem like a nice, intelligent guy. Well, that was nice. Thanks. Confidence booster. And I hope everything works out. P.S. I'm also hardcore into lifting, and it sucks having this with working out. Yeah, man. Tell me about it. Funny enough, for you guys that are into lifting, so I do marketing consulting. I'll get to your question in a second. Just mention this before I forget. And I'm just so happen to be doing consulting for a former competitive bodybuilder right now, Ben Pekulski. So he's got some cool workout programs and whatnot online. His brand's called MI40. So I'm trying to help him expand it and build some cool new programs and make the website better and just kind of all around stuff like that. But there's some really great programs if you guys are interested in, a more, I guess, scientific and well thought out approach to training. I went down there to Florida to visit with them just for business and wound up doing some camp stuff as well. He does like muscle camps there. It was pretty crazy because I thought I was doing things right, but yeah, not. It's crazy, when people really know what they're doing like that. That's a pretty eye-opening experience. I was pretty blown away. Anyway, so you've got slight tingling in your pinky and fourth finger. I thought pinky is the fourth finger. Maybe the third finger. For 8 weeks now. That's not that long. But if it's been real persistent, that's kind of alarming. Like it hasn't kind of gone down. It's still very persistent. That would cause concern. Pain. See, So you have discomfort in your shoulder area. I had a former coworker, my last boss at this last company I worked at, and he had similar symptoms as mine, but it was kind of like that thoracic outlet syndrome, I think it's called. And or actually, I'm sorry, they thought it was thoracic outlet syndrome, but it wound up being a pinched nerve in his neck or some sort of compression there that was for whatever reason causing that as well. So conservative's good. You might want to see a chiropractor or something like that because it's in your shoulder. Maybe it's something in your neck. Um, Maybe you're just kind of out of alignment or something like that. I definitely wouldn't worry about. I mean, watch some of my older videos. I don't want to go through it now, but there's a like a kind of thing you can do with your arm like this that'll cause your nerve to subluxate. I guess it doesn't matter. I could do it now because my nerve's on the other side, right? Okay, so if you hold your hand out like this with your palm up like that, your hand up, you bring it into the side of your ear. If you've got ulnar nerve subluxation, you'll feel it pop over the bone right there. So you can give that a shot and see if you feel that. If you do, then maybe you do have a problem with that in your shoulder discomfort. Is just maybe because you're sleeping wrong or doing something screwy at the gym. That's the thing, it's easy to try to think all these things are related, but sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. You really got to go to a doctor to start sorting this stuff out. But it's good that you guys are mindful and are thinking about, what's going on and whatever. So that part of it's good. So that would be my advice. Try to go see a chiropractor or you can go see a hand surgeon. They'll know about it. But chiropractor might be the best place to start. So let me know how it goes. And just, yeah, good luck to you. Okay, so another one from Zuzu. If you are an individual who desperately seeks attention, what is this? Uh, uh, oh wow. Let me read this one to you guys. This is pretty good. So this person is like all mad at me because I said that FlexDen glove is not a cure-all for everything. So they say I'm an individual who desperately seeks attention to have a sense of self-worth. Well, I don't really do this because I want attention. Otherwise, I'd probably be doing something cooler than talking about ulnar nerve issues, which is a very small percentage of people. But having gone through it, I understand that there's not a whole lot of information out there, and sometimes it helps to have somebody that's been through it share their experience, and that's what this is. So, sorry, it's my opinion. What can you do? And I'm young and lacking experience and wisdom. Well, I'm almost 40 years old, so I don't know how young I am. It says, let me say, having your natural anatomy rearranged by surgical butchers is nothing to be proud of. I wouldn't necessarily call my surgeon a surgical butcher, being that he's one of the best surgeons on the West Coast and was responsible for leading the team that led the first successful hand transplant. So somebody that can put a hand on somebody else that doesn't have a hand and all of a sudden can use the new hand, I'd say that guy probably knows what he's doing. Maybe not so much a butcher. It's a stupid decision when natural cures are available. Oh God. See, here's the thing. Look, can conservative treatment work for somebody? Some people, absolutely. But can it help everybody? Absolutely not. It could not have helped me. If you have subluxation, there's just only so much you can do. I mean, I dealt with this for a while. I tried all this crap. And people want to shove it down your throat and tell you that, like, oh, their thing is the best or this other thing is the best. If it worked for them, that's great. But it doesn't work for everybody. And, if that glove or whatever, I don't even remember. It's like $120. I mean, if you guys want to spend that on it, go for it. Knock yourselves out. But there's things on Amazon that are basically the same thing. And if you try those and those don't help, then odds are the glove's not going to help either. And you're much better off going seeing a doctor that knows what they're doing rather than these quacks online that are pitching their products to you. I'm not selling you guys jack crap. I'm just giving you advice from somebody who's been through it. So, take that as for what it's worth. And then again, casualties of modern medicine number in the millions. I'm not saying that every procedure out there is met with positive outcomes, but I can tell you from personal experience, having done two ulnar nerve transpositions, I would do it again in a heartbeat because I feel a million times better now than before. Like I said, I feel so good that replying to emails all day for work is fun for me. So let that sink in for you a little bit. The recommendations for treating, I'm going on to read this. The recommendations for treating cubital tunnel syndrome from FlexDen do in fact work. Well, they are working for me currently. Well, fantastic. I bet you could have just done some nerve gliding exercises, saved yourself $120, and you would have been fine because that's essentially what that thing does. The whole, I remember it now, the whole idea that like these flexor pronator muscles on top of your arm are out of balance because these underneath are so overworked is just asinine. You use these muscles on the top of your hand all day if you type at a computer, which probably 90% of people do at this point in your life. When you're using a phone, when you're doing all that, you're using those to hold on to things. So there's just more muscle tissue in your, under, your wrist flexor muscles down here, So top of your arm is never going to be as big as the bottom of your arm. It's just you have more muscle fibers there. So oh, it's always going to be out of balance. Well, of course, because that's your human anatomy. It's like saying your bicep should be as big as your quad muscle or something, it's two different things. And then this guy goes on. Obviously, he's making a huge profit off each one sold, and they could be considered unethical, making money off people's pain. However, if you compare $120 to insurance copays for surgery and physical therapy, and having your forearm butchered, then it's a good value. Actually, I paid $100 for my surgeries. $100 for each of them. No physical therapy required. So actually, it was cheaper than the FlexDen glove. So there you go. Oh, I love it. Anyways, moving on to people that are actually interested, in my opinion, and not just lecture me. Professor Physiology. Cool name. I will be scheduling a surgery soon, and this is really helpful. Thanks, dude. Puts my mind at ease. See? You are welcome, Professor of Physiology. I'm glad this was helpful. This is the whole reason that I did this, because I was freaked out before I got mine done. I went on YouTube. I wanted to see about it. I watched the procedure. I listened to people about their recovery, and I wanted to hear, people speak their mind and say how they felt and how their procedure went. So I'm glad it's, helping some people, and I'm not getting hate mail. I'm still getting hate mail. I don't know. I'm sorry. I was trying to look to see if there were any chat things here, but I'm not too good about this. So sorry, guys. It's going to be like a one-way communication until I can get my desktop set up. If any of you guys know how to set up the YouTube Live for the desktop, send me a private message or something like that on YouTube, because it would be a lot easier if I could do this and not hold the phone. Probably answer more of these questions. Sorry, okay. So moving on. Sam Ryan asks, hey Mark, it's been a while. I was the guy who had bilateral ulnar nerve transposition and then one revision on the left who played piano, guitar, and did martial arts. Wow. Welcome to the club, my friend. My right elbow has flared up since high school. Since school started 8 weeks ago, my professor demands everyone handwrite their notes and is so old school. It's overhead transparencies. Holy crap, that is ridiculous. He says totally ridiculous. Yeah, that is, okay. I felt symptoms come back since this class started, and I type at work in the ER. Yeah. But we have Dragon software to dictate our notes. I noticed that a lot of doctors dictate their notes into that, so interesting. It had to be this class that's killing me. Well, let me just say right there, it's probably a culmination of a lot of things. Could be exercise, could be the way you're sleeping. Hey, when I sleep on my arms wrong, they start bothering me. So don't think that can't make a difference. So be careful about how you're sleeping. Since you've had the transposition, your nerves on the other side, keep them bent. Don't sleep with them straight, or don't sleep with them underneath you like you're like on your stomach like a log, because that'll irritate them. Trust me, I've done that before. So it had me this class telling me it's on my right elbow, which was done subcutaneously while the left was done submuscularly. Oh, interesting. You got a little study on both. My ring and pinky fingers are going numb in and out most of the time on the right. So the right is the subcutaneous, and that's the one that's bothering. I think I've developed golfer's elbow, but as we know, since there's inflammation there now, it's pissing off my ulnar nerve. Why it's being transmitted in the new spot. So why do you think you developed the golfer's elbow? Are you doing like repetitive stuff other than the typing? I don't think typing or writing would give you golfer's elbow. Are you playing golf or like from weight training or something? I haven't had any problems at all since my surgery on the right, so quite a while. So this is 2 years. My questions are, do you think I'm looking at another surgery? Man, I hope not. My stretching ice, Graston, Washa around the nerve, magnesium between doesn't help. Oh, he says not lifting upper body, not practicing my instruments, do lots of heat stretching. So I don't know if the stretching could be problematic sometimes. It depends on how you're stretching. If you have your nerve transposed, don't have your arms straight out and stretch like that. You can maybe stretch like this, but again, this, when you straighten, here I'll do it with my left because my left is more secure. When you straighten your arm like this, that's the unrelaxed position of your nerve now. You got to keep that in mind. Like when you've had it transposed, it's relaxed here, not here. So it's the opposite of when you started, because when you straighten it, then it's pulling on the sling. That could create compression. That's why I was saying don't sleep with your arms straight. It's amazing how stuff like that can cause stuff. So even the way you're writing in class, just make sure your arms bent when you're doing it. Yeah, I don't want to have another surgery if I don't have to before I start my next academic career. Wow. Well, yeah, I would just be careful about, again, after you have a transposition, your nerve is going to be more relaxed with your arms bent. It's super counterintuitive. When mine starts bothering me, I want to straighten my arms out. I want to like crack my elbows, but I have to remind myself to just relax, keep my arms bent. Um, just kind of something that reduces stress might help you. Could be anything from listening to music to having a beer or something. I'm not saying get drunk, but just stuff that puts your mind at ease. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. Especially because it's been 2 years since you had it, and I can't really speak to that because it's only been about a year and a half since I've had mine. And I'll be honest, my right actually tingles more than my left because, again, if I straighten my arm out completely with my right, it'll bounce over or it'll go back to where it once was. So it's like reverse subluxation. I'm sure there's a medical term for that, but I don't know. I don't know it right now. So I have to be, careful about it. After I mouse a lot during the day, my right will kind of tingle, but it's not to the point where it drives me insane. But I understand the frustration because it can get so annoying. Even if there's no pain, it's just like, ah. But again, I'll take tingling over pain any day. And I have not had any pain since I had my transpositions related to like nerve pain. So, unfortunately, those of us that deal with this, it's just something that you're gonna have to like, suck up because I doubt, you know, the best you can hope for is like pretty close to normal, and I'd say pretty close to normal is pretty great. Uh, if you have tingling once in a while, you know. But if it's interfering with your life, then that's a different story. Um, I personally probably wouldn't get another surgery unless my tingling was like persistent to the point where it was constant and I worried about the nerve being compressed more so than like being irritated by moving around. That's always a possibility. It's tough. I last time I was there for my follow up, I asked the surgeon about it, and I joked, and I said something about typing and secretaries, and I said, oh, I'm sure my guitar and lifting and typing, all this stuff, just all culminated and caused this. And he's like, that has nothing to do with it. He said, otherwise every secretary would have this, and he's right. So there's absolutely a genetic component. They don't necessarily know what that gene is or whatever, but it's the same reason that your buddy can do everything, or all the people in the class are writing and everything else and never had a problem in their entire life, and then you've had, 2 or 3 surgeries now. So, by the way, Samran, I apologize if you have to watch 30 minutes of this to get your question answered. I guess I should have just done one at a time. I wasn't too smart on my part. Yeah, so maybe I'll stop it here, and I'll go through the rest of the questions another time. But again, best advice I can give you is watch what stretching you're doing. Keep your arm bent. Relax. Reduce stress. Um, Make sure you're not sleeping on it weird, banging it into something, doing something in your daily life that's irritating it that you could avoid. That's just a byproduct of dealing with this. We have to be more smart about it. So anyway, I hope that helps. Apologies for this going so long. I can't believe it's been that, but it was long overdue. And I'll continue to answer these questions, and I'll do them in shorter videos. So keep the questions coming. I hope everyone finds these helpful that's going through this. And talk to you guys again soon. Aloha.